Yo, what's good, my nephews and nieces? This is your favorite old head, Uncle Demi, and today I have another special banger for you, all right? As you know, they did drop some more Easter eggs today, and of course, over the next couple days, I will be breaking them down for you, explaining what I know and what I've seen. And again, if you have not been watching my videos, when I start bringing these things up, you're gonna be like, yo, like Uncle Demi, you were just talking about this last week or a month ago on again, man. So I guess it is what it is. I know I'm gonna see a lot of these in the comments, so I'm just gonna say it right now. You know what I mean? Again, I'm going off of no knowledge of the game. I'm just going off the top of the head and what I feel. So again, I don't want people to be thinking that I know everything early. All right, I got to do that from just a legal standpoint. All right, I know nothing. Okay, now let's talk about this. New badges, right? 53 total badges. That's an increase from the 40 badges in NBA 2K26. It says we removed 6 badges from last year, but added 19 new badges and made updates to the returning badges to ensure a balanced experience. All right. Now, I talked about this earlier when it came to the badges, and I said this verbatim that I was like, yo, like you can expect there not to be a massive overhaul in the badge setup. There isn't really much wiggle room to go to. And as you're going to see, they basically went back and used older badges, renamed them, and brought them back in. And again, we're going to see, excuse me, how this adding of 19 badges, taking away 6, what it does for the balance. Because I feel like this is a tunnel with no light at the end. And the reason why I say that is because as long as there's third-party devices and people are cheating, I'm going to say this over and over again, it's very difficult to really talk about balance or anything like that when individuals can just shoot and hit a shot anytime they want. They can be at half court, they can be on the other side of the court, they can be anywhere and everywhere. As long as they're a pure green window in NBA 2K27, you can expect cheaters to go crazy. So again, I know this is a whole different topic, but that pure green window has to be something that needs to be debated and talked about more. They have to find some type of equilibrium in that, because the pure green window, as long as they're a pure green window and the shot's not blocked, you can make every single shot with a third-party device. And I think that's what's going to make this difficult, because the badges, if it was in a perfect world and people weren't cheating, there might be an actual balance. But if you're cheating, some of these badges might make you even more crazier, right? So just keep that in mind. So that's just the big thing. But they did give us a little taste of what some of these badges would be. And one badge is called Pace, all right? It says increases the overall sprint speed of the ball handler in all offensive situations. This right here sounds scary, all right? Because this sounds like this can be some really good left-righting. I don't know. That's the only thing, the first thing I thought of, I was like, oh yeah, people really about to. Remember, they said that left-right cheese was dead, but I feel like great players, a lot of these stage players and just, good players, ball handlers, they figure it out quick. Like, there's a lot of stuff that the 2K dev team and the people that test the game early, like they're like, they're good, but they're not like these individuals that can like literally break down something and just find every little nick and cranny. So Pace seems like it is going to be a really, really, really good badge. We'll see how it starts off when the game first comes out. This looks like a badge that definitely is going to need to be patched. Or it might be one of those badges where people can't even really tell the difference. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, quick first step, as great as it was, when 2K Labs and these individuals looked at it, it was like 0.1, 0.2 difference, and that stuff you really can't visually see. So, and it wasn't really that massive of a difference, right? So just keep that in mind. Then the next one is Wall Up, and this is the one that I really like. It says decreases the opponent's shot chance when playing hands up defense. This is crazy, okay? Now, we just had a conversation about this when I was talking about the hands up defense and whether or not that's considered great defense or not. So, me being a former D1 basketball player, and I know other good players, and I was a shooter, and if you was to have me, let's say at the elbow, and you had somebody standing in front of me. And I think a lot of shooters, we do this drill all the time. You have a defender in your face with a hand up, or you have a sometimes they'll use like if you're they're shorter, your trainer's shorter, they'll use like a broomstick or something like that to really put that type of contest in your face. To me, as a shooter, if I know you can't get to my shot, do I sense you? Yes. But are you really messing me up? No. And then you're talking about me as a D1 player. Let's talk about NBA players. Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Con Kneppel, that great catch and shoot shooters. Like, hands up defense ain't doing nothing, right? That's why they even had to put a rule in the NBA to where you could not take away their landing, because see, hands up defense wasn't affecting great shooters enough. So what players used to do was step in their landing spot to roll their ankles, and that will cause shooters to be very cautious on the closeout, because when people are closing out and you have the fear of he's gonna try to roll my ankle, then that caused fear. When the NBA took that out, I want y'all to look at the great shooters when they close out. Like, great shooters are closing out. You need to, when you're closing out and you're running to close out with your hands up, or you're sitting there playing defense, and you know what they say, hand down, man down. But the thing is this, when they're saying hand down, man down, they're also talking about the fact that you didn't jump and you didn't contest a shot, right? So when it says decreases the opponent's shot chance when playing hands up defense, I want to know how crazy that is. Because if you're telling me that hands up defense is going to be just as effective as a jump, then this might be one of the most, I just can't see that. People want offensive games. So I'm very curious to see what the balance is going to be on that, because what's going to be the difference between a legend wall up and a jump? No matter what legend wall up, you can have legend wall up. A legend wall up should not be as good as a contest to a jump. All right, that's just my opinion. And if that does happen on a release of the game and people are just putting hands up defense and shots are getting 80% contested and you're smothered shots and you're falling on the ground and the dude was just sitting there with his hands up, people are going to immediately start complaining, be like, bro, he didn't even jump. Like, what are we doing? You see what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. Now, all my individuals like the crab and all that type stuff, and you think you have them sealed, but they have wall up and they just put their hands up and you get a contest, you're gonna be pissed off about that too. So I'd be interested to see how that goes. The last one is called Flash. Improves overall movement during transition offense without the ball and defense. So this seems like this will be a physical takeover. It looks like it'll have something to do with your speed, right? Improves overall movement during transition. So this is this like off ball, right? Is this like the which I can't remember the name. It's not off ball pass, but what's the movement? Slippery off ball. Is this another slippery off ball and just been renamed? If slippery off ball is not in the game and Flash is, then that's what it is. Because everybody knows, hey, flash to the elbow, and so like an individual do like a V cut. If you play basketball, you know what I'm talking about, a V cut. You're sitting at the elbow, you got your defender, you ride your defender straight into the paint, and then you pop back out, right? Give a little push, pop back out, V cut. Like, I don't know if this flash like that type of movement, but it says transition. So, but it says and defense. So are you talking about just running up and down the floor and you get a better animation and speed? Like, I don't know. I don't know. That right there, I really got to see. But they claim that, they're putting new badges in that really is going to help the game. And, so again, I don't want to put too much emphasis on doubting it. I want to wait until we see. But y'all let me know in the comment section, guys. What do y'all think about this? Is this a W? Is it an L? But other than that, it's your favorite old head, Uncle Jimmy. I'll be back really, really soon on the Banger Man. When I say back soon on the Banger, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tomorrow, man. I'm out.